Hello, this is Don O'Malley from Don's Breakfast Cereal Show. Thanks for tuning in to the second part of The Vigilante. Now, Ralph Boyd plays Greg Saunders, the Vigilante. The last name was later changed to Saunders in the comics. That was DC Comics. Ralph Boyd was best known as Dick Tracy in several of Republic's serial chapters, and he returned to play Dick Tracy in RKO movie pictures. So here we go with The Vigilante with Ralph Boyd. Thanks for tuning in.
Prisoner turned over to the authorities by Greg Saunders is released from the sheriff's substation by his accomplices, who also take Captain Reilly's horse. Discovering this, Greg pursues them on his motorcycle, and as Reilly and Stuff follow in a car,
motorcycle and the car following us.
better take that mountain road up ahead. This is it. Stop just beside of that turn. Keep going. Tie this to that tree over there.
Greg?
Yes, I'm in better shape than that motorcycle.
You know what happened?
Those men strung a wire across the road to stop me. And they sure did.
That was a pretty foxy trick.
Let's try to pick up their trail.
Well, do you think you're in condition to go along with us?
Yes, I'm perfectly all right.
Well, if we're going after them, let's get started.
What do you suppose Silver's doing with these horseshoes, Doc?
I don't know. It's a mystery to me. shoes, Silver.
Tears of blood, Lefty, tears of blood.
Smart guy, huh?
Don't ask questions and take those shoes and put them back on the horse.
This is some routine. These go back on the horse, Mark.
Hey, Lefty. What's this all about?
Tears of blood, Walt. Tears of blood.
Oh, smart guy, huh?
That's just what I said. But we still got to put the shoes back on the horse.
When you get the shoes on, load the horse in the trailer and take him back near the sheriff's substation and turn him loose. Captain Reilly will never know why the horse was taken.
He won't have anything on us, Silver.
You'll find out at the proper time. Now get busy.
Number, please.
This is X2. Let me speak to X1.
Go ahead, X2.
I'll have them with me.
Bring them to me at once.
Right.
Ah, what beauties. In all the world, there are only 100 of them. 100 tears of blood. I must have them all, Silver.
But they say there's a curse on them.
That's a legend for fools.
The curse certainly worked against the 5 people who unknowingly possessed them.
When I have them all, I'll show you how to break the curse. Tomorrow, I'll add 20 more to these.
Where do we get them?
When the men get back, I'll give you your instructions.
Very well, X1.
Well, I guess that wild goose chase was a couple of hours wasted, Captain.
I didn't think we'd be able to pick up their trail.
Yeah, but sooner or later, they'll come out in the open again.
I hope so.
Your horse is back, Captain.
You sure? Jones has them right outside. Well, that sure is one for the books.
Where'd you find him? Ambling along the road, headed this way. Pretty smart horse to find his way home. He didn't. This isn't his home. Obviously, whoever took him brought him back and turned him loose.
Could be.
Well, I don't see anything wrong with him.
Everything seems to be all right as far as I can see. Put him in a stall and feed him. Let's go inside and figure out this new angle. I don't see why anyone would go through the trouble of stealing that horse and then bring it back.
And what did Hammett, the aide to Prince Hamil, mean by the expression 100 tears of blood when he was killed? And where does the prince fit into it?
Sounds like one of those question and answer games, except that we got plenty of questions and no answers.
Yeah, they left him out of the book.
I told you about the prince's men tying up the door of Betty's trailer at the rodeo grounds.
Yes, but the prince must be handled carefully. There's a diplomatic angle there.
And George Pierce's cafe is a spot to be watched.
Do you think that Pierce is involved?
Not necessarily. Pierce owns the cafe, but he doesn't run it. His manager, Silver, could be the biggest crook uncaught without Pierce knowing it.
I could have the city boys look it over.
That would only put the people we're after on guard. I'd rather handle this myself.
Watch your step.
I will.
Can you use that, Doc? No.
he sees you.
What if he does see us?
Why not let him? He might follow us.
Say, I wish he would.
That's an idea. Suppose you boys take a little ride just to see if he does follow you. If he walks into anything, let him have it.
Hey, that'll be a pleasure.
Still following us, Doc.
He won't be following us long.
Get out. Here. Tie him up and put him in his car and take him to Hideout 6. I'll report back to X1. One of you boys phone me in about an hour for further orders.
Right. Was easy?
Yeah. Almost too easy.
Quit worrying. That fellow Saunders isn't as smart as he thinks he is. Take his car and get to the nearest phone. Call Doc and find out what the orders are.
Oh, he had an idea how he could trap the gang that was after those 5 Aravanian horses the Prince gave away.
I wouldn't worry. Greg can take care of himself.
Oh, I know that, but...
But what?
Well, he wouldn't let me go with him, and I'm going to miss all the fun.
This is for you, Miss Winslow. Some fella gave it to me at the stable, then rushed away without saying anything.
Thank you, Joe.
Hi, welcome.
You were right, Stuff. Greg is in trouble.
Where?
Listen to this. Miss Winslow, we've got Greg Saunders. We'll exchange him for your white horse. If you want to see him again, ride your horse through Coyote Canyon tonight, so as to arrive at Skyline Road at 12 midnight. Don't notify the police, and come alone.
Is it signed?
No,
We better see Captain Reilly.
but they warned us not to notify the police.
Oh, they always do that to scare you. The best thing we can do is go to the sheriff's substation right away.
Now, if each of you will follow the plan I've outlined, we'll get Greg back again safe and sound, and also capture the men who are holding him.
I'll certainly do my part, Captain.
And so will I.
I'll keep this and have it checked for fingerprints. See you tonight.
Right.
Goodbye, Captain.
was that?
Rats, probably. The old place is full of them.
Maybe we better see if Saunders is okay.
Who cares how he is?
Yeah, but he might be trying to get out.
Settle down, will you? This is the first rest I've had since somebody mentioned Eravanian horses.
Did you hear that?
I didn't hear anything. What did it sound like?
Well, it sounded like something had dropped.
Maybe Saunders knocked himself out.
Got your men well concealed, Captain. I can't see any of them.
That's the idea, Stuff, so they'll be ready to help Betty.
And Greg.
That's right.
Well, I think we ought to check on him just the same.
Why don't you? I'm too comfortable. That Winslow girl is sure going to get a big surprise tonight when she finds out Greg Saunders isn't there to help her.
Yeah, but there's still the Vigilante.
Somebody mention my name? Now turn around. Now, what's that about Betty Winslow? Come on, let's have it.
Take it easy, huh? I'll tell you.
Shut up. Come on, talk.
Well, they told her to take her horse out to Skyland Road, but they're going to stop her in Coyote Canyon before she gets there.
Thanks. Now get going while I get Saunders out of the closet.
This is as far as you're going.
This isn't where I was supposed to meet you.
Skip it. Get down off of the horse.
Where's Greg Saunders?
You'll never know. We'll catch her before she gets out of the canyon. Unhook the trailer, quick.
Prince's part in this mystery? Is the ancient curse on those who own the white horses again to assert itself? Be sure to see Blasted to Eternity, Chapter 8 of The Vigilante, at this theater next week. Ordered to give up her horse in exchange for Greg's safety, Betty keeps a midnight rendezvous, but finds Greg's abductors do not mean to keep their bargain. But Greg has meanwhile escaped, and now the vigilante rides again to aid the fugitive girl.
Like one of Pierce's cars.
Sure does.
Running without lights. Stand by, Duncan, while I investigate. Well, good evening, Your Highness. Just what brings you here? Prince Hamil, but I must insist on knowing why you were out on Skyline Road tonight.
I regret that I'm unable to answer your question, Captain Reilly.
Well, in that case, you'll have to come to my office for questioning.
As you wish, Captain.
I'll ride with you.
Very well.
It's too late for the ambush. You might as well pick up the boys, Morgan. Like the horse you gave Miss Winslow.
Possibly it is. Were you expecting her?
You should know.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Step inside, please.
Captain Reilly, have you heard anything from Greg?
No, not a word, Betty.
Good evening, Miss Winslow.
Good evening, Your Highness.
Evidently, you didn't go to the meeting place.
Well, I was on my way there when some men stopped me on the canyon road. I got away from them, though.
I hadn't anticipated an interception like that. Here he is. Hello, Betty.
Greg, what a relief to see you. How did you get away from those men?
The vigilante came to my rescue.
The vigilante? Did you find out who he is?
He didn't wait to tell me.
Did you recognize the men or learn anything about them?
They're part of the crowd we spotted at Pierce's Cafe. They took me to a hideout, an old shack. So I must confess I accomplished absolutely nothing by allowing myself to be caught.
Allowing yourself to be caught?
That's right. It was a good idea, but it went wrong.
You might at least have been considerate enough to let some of your friends know. It would have saved them a lot of worry.
I know, and I'm sorry. But it's becoming so difficult to know who your friends are. The present company accepted, of course.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some work to do.
Good. But first, where's Stuff?
Out with Deputy Morgan, picking up the boys from the ambush we didn't meet.
Sounds interesting. Tell me about it.
I've got some questions to ask Prince Hamil first.
I'm at your service, Captain.
Come along. Make yourself comfortable. Be seated.
Thank you.
A short while ago, you made gifts of 5 white Aravanian horses to 5 different people. 3 of those people are here.
Quite correct.
Miss Winslow was ordered by an anonymous letter to ride the horse you gave her to a certain place tonight. How did you happen to be there?
That is a personal matter. I do not care to divulge the reason.
You realize what your refusal might mean?
No, I do not. Could you perhaps charge me with some crime?
Do you know why Miss Winslow went there?
If I do, you know also. So I don't need to tell you. Is that true?
Did you order the horse taken from her?
Why should I take back a gift?
Your Highness, did you also receive an anonymous letter telling you to be there?
My friend, you're a very intelligent person, despite your playful manner and appearance. A letter I did not receive. It was a telephone call.
Anonymous, of course.
Right.
Thanks for coming, Your Highness. I won't waste any more of your time.
On the contrary, it's been most enjoyable. Miss Winslow, I will add my prayers to the providence which protected you tonight.
Thank you, Your Highness.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Did you notice the car the Prince is driving?
Yes, it was one of George Pierce's.
Well, why not? The Prince is George's house guest.
Another promising angle nipped in the bud.
You believe the Prince's story about that anonymous phone call?
Yes, didn't you?
Well, it fits in with what happened. Betty being stopped before she got to the rendezvous. Nobody showing up but the Prince, who was obviously sent there to keep us busy while something happened somewhere else.
Which proves?
That we're up against somebody who's almost as smart as you think you are.
Certainly somebody that's smarter than the unpleasant characters that hang out at Pierce's Cafe.
X2 speaking.
I have important news. Come inside.
Very well, X1.
Tex Collier, the horse breeder, is going to give away the white Aravanian horse presented to him by Prince Hamil.
To whom, X1?
Collier intends to hold a riding contest at his ranch. The horse will go to the winner.
Well, suppose it's won by someone who will take it out of our reach.
That's not likely to happen if my instructions are carefully followed.
There will be. What's the routine?
The first step in my plan will be taken when Greg Saunders, the prairie troubadour, goes on motion picture location tomorrow morning. Now, listen carefully.
Morning, Maestro.
Good morning, Greg.
Got a tough day ahead?
You have. Plenty of fighting and riding, also a couple of stunts. Of course, we got a double for the stunts.
I'll do my own stunts if you don't mind.
Go ahead. It's your neck.
Morning, Greg.
Well, Betty, what a pleasant surprise.
Oh, I thought you wouldn't mind having a visitor.
Not at all. George Pierce and Tex Collier are coming over, too.
Oh, a gathering of the clan, eh?
That seems to be the idea.
We'll see that the contest is fixed so you can't lose.
Won't take much fixing.
Well, just one thing. Betty Winslow, the rodeo queen, will be riding. But we'll see that she don't ride for long.
Count me in.
Well, hello, Hello, George. Tex. Hello there. Hi, Betty. How are you?
Have you decided what you're going to do about my contest, Greg?
Yes, I've decided to enter it. You and I are going to race against each other.
Oh? Well, may the best man or woman win.
I knew you couldn't resist the publicity.
And a beautiful Aravanian horse.
Which I'm going to win, incidentally.
I don't know about that. I've seen the troubadour do some riding in this picture. He'll be a tough man to beat. I wouldn't make any bets on that, George. If anybody can sit a horse, it's Betty.
Sounds like they don't want to beat each other. I bet this will be some race.
Excuse the interruption, Greg. The boss is ready.
Thanks. Excuse me, folks. Go ahead.
Eddie, on action, I want you to run from behind that big rock. Get up to the tree and crawl out on the lower limb. Now, Greg, I want you to stand by in the background on your horse. Now, when Eddie's in position, I want you to start riding in. When you ride under the tree, Eddie's going to drop onto the back of your horse, stick a gun in your ribs, and tell you to keep going. You understand?
Yeah, I think I've got it all right. Okay with you, Eddie?
Okay with me.
Well, let's go.
Greg?
Yeah, I'm all right. But I'd like to know what the idea is, Sid. That routine wasn't in the script.
I'll say it wasn't. Wait till I get my hands on that Eddie Smith. Where'd he go? What you think you were doing, Eddie? You want to kill Greg?
No, but someone else did.
What are you talking about?
Two men jumped me, knocked me out cold. Then one of them took my place in the scene.
What's it all about, Greg?
Search me.
Why, you're hurt?
Well, I'm all right, outside of a sore jaw and a wrenched knee. Looks like I won't be able to ride in that contest of yours, Tex.
Well, that's a tough break.
It certainly is, Greg.
Oh, I don't know. Betty was going to win anyway. I was going to make you ride for it.
Attention, folks. Attention, please. Now I want to explain the rules of the race to the contestants. If for any reason a rider is unhorsed, that rider will be disqualified. After you leave the end of the track, the course is marked by white flags. The finish will be back at the starting line. Get your horses and line up for the start. Your Highness, would you care to act as one of the judges of the race?
Why, I would consider it an honor.
How about you, Mr. Pierce?
Oh, yes, thanks, Tex.
Hello, Stuff. How are you?
Fine, Mr. Collier. Greg sent me over to watch the race so I could tell him about it.
I'm sorry he can't be here. How is he?
Oh, not so good. But he'll be around again soon.
I'm glad to hear that. Have a seat. Watch the race.
Thanks.
All right. Get your horses up into starting position.
I'm rooting for you, Betty, to bring home the bacon.
Thanks, Stuff.
Then you'll have two Aravanian horses and you can ride Roman style.
The black horse. Back him up a little bit. Winslow. Maybe she met with an accident.
Certainly hope not.
Hold it. This man's not the winner. Betty Winslow's bridle was tampered with. You, come on over here. I want to take a look at you. Come on out of there.
What is the meaning of this murderous attack on the Prince? Are Gregg and Stuff also to meet the same fate? For the sensational answers, see The Fatal Flood, Chapter 9 of The Vigilante, at this theater next week. The Vigilante boldly foils a plot to acquire Tex Collier's white horse, which had been offered as a prize for a race. Hoping to capture one of the conspirators and so establish the identity of the others, the Vigilante pursues him onto a mountain road where...
was quite an explosion.
Yeah, and I almost walked right into it.
Where's the white horse?
That fellow I was chasing got away with him. But I think we have a chance to overtake him. I've an idea he's heading for Hidden Valley.
We better get going.
You drive.
Was right. He is heading for Hidden Valley.
That's where we're heading, as soon as I change clothes.
I don't see him around anywhere. The place looks deserted.
You snoop around the corral and stables and see if you can spot that white horse. I'll go up to the house and stall anybody I happen to run into. How do you do?
Howdy.
Nice piece of property you have here.
Yeah, it's a little run down. I figure on fixing it up. I'm going to raise thoroughbred horses. Walden's my name.
I'm Greg Sanders.
Had an idea I'd seen you before. You were the Prairie Troubadour in pictures, aren't you?
That's right. That's why I came here. I wanted to talk to you about using your ranch as a location for my next picture.
Well, I don't know about that. See, it's like this. What with being busy, getting the ranch stocked and all,
You feel that a motion picture company would be in the way, is that it?
That's right. Sorry we can't get together.
Yeah, seems to make an ideal location for us, Mr. Waldron. But I understand. So thanks anyway. Did you discover anything?
I saw the fellow we trailed down here.
What about the horse?
No sign of him. But it's a cinch he's around here someplace.
I'm sure of it.
What do we do now?
We'll figure that out on the way back to town.
Shooting at, Lefty?
That character who calls himself the Vigilante.
You let him get away? No. We didn't let him, he just went. Lucky we about through with this job. Give me that other shoe. Put these back on the horse. You and left to deliver this to X1 at headquarters.
What's the idea, Waldron? I was supposed to do that.
Orders have been changed. You're to take this horse in the truck and meet X2 in Coyote Canyon. You'll get further orders from him. Put that shoe on as quick as you can, Sadlow, then load him in the truck.
Would you care to have dinner served now, Mr. Pierce?
Well, perhaps we better go ahead, Betty. Greg must have been delayed.
It looks that way.
Oh, never mind. Here he comes.
Good evening, folks.
Hello, Greg.
We were beginning to wonder what happened to you.
Well, I'm sorry to be late, but a couple of things held me up.
We forgive you.
Dinner for 3, Henri, just as I ordered.
Yes, Mr. Pierce.
I hope you don't mind my ordering in advance. I think you'll like the dinner.
I'm in the mood for having things done for me.
Rough day?
Day and evening. I've been running down some rumors.
You interest me.
There was word that Tex Collier's white horse had been taken to a ranch in Hidden Valley.
Say, why don't we move in on the ranch with the police?
I'm afraid that wouldn't work. By that time, our evidence would have disappeared.
We should be prepared to act when we have the opportunity. I don't like this idea of waiting, doing nothing. I may be next.
Well, I'm sure something is being done.
Principally by that character who calls himself the Vigilante. A lot of good that does us.
Well, I know that I'm grateful to him, whoever he is.
What about it, Greg? Haven't you any clue to his identity?
If I had, I certainly would try to tie in with him.
Well, we should be able to eventually uncover him. Don't you think so, Betty?
Well, I have an idea that at the right time, he'll save us the trouble.
Sure, Betty has the right angle on this mysterious villain.
Only he's not a villain.
I bow to your superior judgment.
Is the work accomplished?
Everything went as planned. We had orders to deliver this to you, X1.
Good. Put it on the table. Anything else?
Yes. X7 is at Coyote Canyon waiting for further instructions.
I'll take care of that. Both of you had better keep clear of here on the ranch for a day or two. You'll be notified about the next job.
What's up, Silver?
I've got orders from the boss. You're to take the horse to Pierce's ranch.
Oh, why do that?
X1 thinks that someone in the outfit is working secretly with the Prince. Your job is to help us find out who it is.
Well, how can I do that?
Stop the truck near Pierce's ranch, change it to this outfit, then ride the horse on into the stables. In the darkness, you might be taken for the Prince.
What if I am?
Whoever's trying to pull a double cross is liable to approach you and tip his hand. If he does, we've got him. 2 of the boys will cover you.
I can handle it.
All right, put on this outfit and get going. nice, Betty. You accepted my invitation for dinner. I accepted your offer to sing for the patrons.
You see, Betty, you've earned both our meals.
Oh, excuse me, will you please? You two still feel the same way you did the last time we talked?
Just the same.
We're tired of X1 getting all the gravy while we do all the work.
Well, you want to do something about it?
We sure do. You name it.
Okay, here it is. Prince Hamil and X1 have a double cross all set up. Now that means we'll be counted out.
Prince ought to be easy to handle.
If you hurry, you can nail him at Pierce's ranch as he comes in from his evening ride.
That's all we need to know.
I hope you meant that song for me.
Couldn't you tell?
Well, not exactly.
Well, maybe it's because you sing that way to all the girls.
But that's only in motion pictures. It's all make-believe.
It's just more of that prairie persiflage.
I sure wish I could follow you, ma'am.
They went that away, cowpoke.
Have you had a report from the boys? Yes, Miller's taking Collier's horse out to your ranch now. He was supposed to deliver the pearls to me here at the cafe. Have they come yet? No, they haven't. Well, let's go out to the ranch and check with Miller.
Go for you, Mr. Saunders.
Thank you. Hello? Oh, yes. Hello, Stuff. How long ago? Well, you stay there at the gas station. I'll pick you up as quick as I can.
Is anything wrong?
Possibly. Stuff's been snooping around. He saw Tex Collier's horse being taken from Waldron's place to Pierce's ranch.
Well, what does it mean, Greg?
I don't know, but I'm going to find out.
Mr. Pierce has been unexpectedly called out, sir. He hopes you'll excuse him and continue to be his guest for the evening.
Well, that's quite all right on me. We were about to leave anyway.
Thank you, sir.
Mind if I drop you off, Betty?
Oh, I'd better take a cab. You have to hurry.
Thanks a lot.
I'll see if Miller's in the house. You check the stables.
Right.
Well, where do we begin?
At the corral and stables. That looks like Prince Hamil.
Yeah, and on one of those white Aravanian horses. I wonder what he's up to.
Let's find out. Did you fire those shots, Greg? No, they came from the corral.
Oh. Well, how do you happen to be here?
I heard that Collier's horse turned up there. We'd better get to the corral. The Prince.
Well, who's the one at the stables dressed like him? Why were they both attacked?
If we knew that, we'd have the answer to a lot of things. Where did Pierce go?
I didn't notice.
Let's get rid of them. They've been getting in our hair.
What happened to Prince Hamil?
It isn't Prince Hamil, it's Miller.
Miller?
Yeah. There's something fishy about this. He's made up to look like Prince Hamil. He's been shot. And if he had the pearls on him, he hasn't got them now.
Is this second attack on the carnival stables to succeed? How much longer can the Vigilante withstand these overwhelming forces? Next week in this theater, see the plot unfold further in Danger Ahead, Chapter 10 of The Vigilante. Suspecting that the secret of the White Horse's value lies at the Pierce Ranch, Greg and Stuff investigate. Unaware that there's a conspiracy afoot to involve Prince Hamil in X1's trickery, they discover what appears to be an attempt on his life, and then...
Where did Pierce go?
I didn't notice.
What happened to Prince Hamil?
It isn't Prince Hamil, it's Miller.
Miller?
Yeah. There's something fishy about this. He's made up to look like Prince Hamil. He's been shot. And if he had the pearls on him, he hasn't got them now.
Rescue, Prince Hamil.
What happened here?
Stuff and I encountered two men in the patio who had attacked Prince Hamil. They knocked us off and threw us in the reservoir.
I can identify them if they're ever caught.
Then it was you, Prince Hamil, who fired the shots?
The last one, yes.
Stuff and I were targets for the others.
We felt like ducks in a shooting gallery.
I have no doubt that the men who attacked Mr. Saunders and his young friend are the same ones who attempted to kill me.
Silver, notify the police immediately.
Right away.
Greg, I suggest that you and Stuff go up to the house and get some dry clothes.
Thanks, but we'll be all right. It's a warm night.
Incidentally, it was Collier's white horse they brought to the ranch. That may be no surprise to you, Greg, although it may be news to you, Prince Hamil.
I'm very glad the animal's been recovered. Had I known that my gifts would cause so much trouble, I never would have brought them to this country.
Why should those 5 horses arouse such interest?
I was hoping you could answer that question, Your Highness.
Questions, my dear Pierce, are not always as easily answered as asked.
And not always answered correctly.
Will you excuse me?
Well, I think we'll be running along, George. Good night.
Good night. Good night, sir.
Did you want to see us, Silver?
That's right. Wait just a minute.
Number, please.
This is X2. Let me speak to X1.
X1 speaking.
X8 and 9 are here.
Bring them to me at once.
Very well. Let's go.
Just a minute, Silver. You're not putting us on the spot, are you?
You did it yourselves. Greg Sanders is still alive, and so is Prince Hamil.
We made a deal with you. You said you'd keep us in the clear with X1.
Tell him the story I cooked up for you, and you'll be all right. Now, come on.
X8, where is the package that Miller carried?
We don't know anything about it, X1.
That's right, we never saw it.
I know you two were at the ranch when Miller was shot. Did either of you do it?
No.
Then what were you doing there?
We was following Greg Sanders and his pal. We meant to get rid of him.
They acted in good faith, X1, and they meant well.
I'll take your word for it, Silver, this time. X8 and X9, you're still in good standing. Both of you report back here tonight. I'll have your assignment for you then.
This idea of yours of watching Pierce's ranch for developments. Phooey, nothing happens.
That's been a pretty dull session. We might as well shove off.
Hey, business is picking up.
If I missed my guess, those are the 2 babies that tried to kill us last night.
Those are the same 2 guys, Greg. What do you suppose they're going to do with those horses?
They're not putting them in that trailer just for exercise. There they go. And we're following them.
What do you suppose this means?
That possibly Silver has something to do with this funny business. I've had an idea that he might have.
Well, maybe we can sneak into the garage.
No, you keep an eye on them. In case they move the horses, give me a ring and then follow them. I'll leave the motorcycle, but you get it under cover.
Roger Wilco.
I've got a date with Betty Winslow tonight, so I'll be around the cafe in case anything happens.
It's wonderful the sacrifices you make to the cause of duty.
far from certain that X8 and X9 are on the level, in spite of the way they explained their presence at the Pierce Ranch.
Well, I don't blame you, but there's one thing for sure.
Yes?
If they carry out tonight's assignment, they'll either get themselves killed, or we'll gain possession of something very valuable.
X1 speaking.
X8 and 9 reporting.
Come in. Relax a minute, X2. X8, X9. I want to impress upon you that the work you're to do tonight is of the utmost importance. The job is dangerous, but if you carry it out satisfactorily, your past mistakes will be overlooked. If you fail, well, you both know the answer to that.
Yes, we understand.
X2 will give you all the instructions you need. See that you follow them.
Yes, X1. Well, I told you I'd get you a break, didn't I?
Maybe you did and maybe you didn't.
Yeah, what's the deal?
You're to get the 2 horses that belong to Betty Winslow and Greg Saunders. In their places, you'll leave the horses you picked up today, Collier's and Pierce's.
You mean we're just to switch horses?
That's all. But you better watch yourselves. There's 2 deputy sheriffs guarding the arena stables. They shoot first and ask questions later.
That's a big help.
You afraid you can't handle the job?
You can tell X1 the horses he wants are as good as his.
Good luck.
At least we know those 2 won't be causing us any trouble.
They won't even know that they've got horses that don't belong to them.
Good evening, folks.
Hello, Jordan.
Good.
Well, Greg, I didn't expect to see you again so soon.
Well, that dunking I had last night didn't have any lasting effect.
Didn't dampen his spirits a bit.
So I see. Well, enjoy yourselves.
Thank you.
Good evening, Miss Winslow. Mr. Saunders, this way, please. What do you order now, Mr. Saunders?
Thank you.
What's that?
We'll order dessert later. If you have any of that French pastry, you better save some for Miss Winslow.
Surely, Mr. Saunders.
Who are you waving at?
Was I waving?
Yes, and from your guilty look, it must have been a girl. Just who are you waving at?
Well, there's somebody I have to see. Excuse me for a few minutes, will you, please? What's on your mind?
Plenty. Those 2 men you had me watch just drove off with the horses in a trailer. I heard them say they were going to carnival grounds. I didn't think you'd want Betty in on it.
That's right. I'll follow them. No telling what they're up to, but it can't be any good. You stay here and have dinner with Betty.
Oh, brother, what a break.
I'll contact you later.
Hi, Betty.
I might have known you were mixed up in this. What's it all about?
Well,
Where did Greg go? Why didn't you come over to the table if you wanted to talk to him? What's the big secret?
I can't tell you a thing. My lips are sealed. All they can be unsealed for is to eat Greg's dinner. He won't be back for a little while. Henri! Serve the dinner, my good man.
Mr. Sanders' dinner?
Certainly.
You might as well.
Très bien, mademoiselle.
Saunders just beat it out of here like a streak of lightning. I wonder why. That young pal of his came in after him. I don't know what the setup is, but I'm a little worried about that deal with Sadlow and Thorne.
Do you want me to go out to the arena stables and check?
Yeah, and take Merc with you, just in case.
And toss it in the rear window of that stable.
You'll be ready to move in.
I'll be right with you. So far, so good.
It's what happens from now on that counts.
Get that other horse out.
Take the horse to a safe place. I'll report the fire. Horses back in the stable.
It's the Vigilante, and he's got Sadlow and Thorne.
I'll take care of that Vigilante once and for all.
What is the meaning of this conference between the Prince and X1's chief aide? Are the missing horseshoes at last to be discovered? See the thrilling answers in X1 Closes In, Chapter 11 of The Vigilante, at this theater. Next week. Greg is informed by Stuff that the 2 white horses they saw taken from the Pierce ranch are now being carried to the carnival grounds. Suspecting a plot to exchange these horses for the 2 already there, the vigilante goes swiftly into action and...
It's the vigilante. And he's got Sadlow and Thorne.
I'll take care of that vigilante once and for all.
Come down out of there! You call the fire department?
I didn't need to. There was no fire, just a smoke bomb.
Get over there and slap the bracelets on that fellow while I take care of this one.
Right.
Shoe off the girl's horse, Silver.
Good. Put those back on the other horse.
That's right. I have the 2 men locked up. I'll hold them on a charge of attempted burglary.
It may be more than that. I have an idea that maybe their accomplices switched horses and got away with mine and Betty Winslow's, but we couldn't pick up their trail.
Did you try the Hidden Valley Ranch?
Yes, it was deserted.
How about the Pierce place?
Well, there are 2 horses there, Pierce's and Tex Collier's.
Well, are you sure they're not the 2 that were stolen?
No, I'm not. They're almost identical.
Then it's possible that you saw the stolen horses.
Yes. A lot of things have been happening to the horses at Pierce's place.
How do you mean?
Well, yesterday, Stuff and I saw 2 horses loaded into a trailer there. They were taken to a garage in back of Pierce's cafe, then later to the rodeo stables.
What happened then?
I don't know. That's when the battle started.
Well, probably the horses were switched, so they now have yours and Betty's. But why would anybody do that?
If we knew, this mystery would be solved. Is the horse Prince Hamil gave you here?
Yes, out in the garage.
Let's have a look at him.
All right.
Come along, Stuff. Stuff, do you think you can pull this shoe off?
Sure I can if I had some tools.
You'll find some right over there in that box. Did you discover something?
I don't know. Looks to me like that shoe's been tampered with, as though it had been taken off and put back.
We never gave any thought to the shoes.
It's a wild idea, but it's a last chance.
trouble, X1.
What is it?
Well, it's about those last 2 horses.
Did you fail to get them?
Well, no, I got them to the ranch all right, but 2 of our men were caught.
The men are not important. What about the pearls?
Well, that's where our difficulty comes in.
Stop stalling. What happened?
Well, both horses had been reshod, so naturally I didn't get the pearls.
Find out where those horses were reshod. I must have those pearls.
I'll put every man on it in the morning.
See that you do. You know what the penalty for failure is.
Secret compartment.
No doubt this is what made the 5 Aravanian horses so valuable to someone. That explains why my horse was returned to me so quickly after he was stolen recently.
What do you suppose was in it, Greg?
We'd only be guessing stuff. What are you grinning about? What's the joke? Right now, it's on our unknown enemies. I just remembered that Betty had her horse reshod. So as far as they're concerned, they've stolen a dead horse.
Excuse me, Your Highness. Hello, Greg. Come in. George?
Prince Hamil?
How do you do, Mr. Saunders?
You sounded a bit excited over the telephone, Greg.
That's right. I have some news for you gentlemen. Your Highness, I think we run into something important.
It has to do with the 5 horses?
That's right. As far as they're concerned, I believe the mystery is solved.
Good. What did you discover?
The secret is in their shoes. Each one has a concealed compartment.
What was in them?
I don't know. Somebody had already tampered with the shoes I inspected.
That is to be regretted.
Perhaps not.
What do you mean, Saunders?
Our mysterious enemy would have no way of knowing this, but one of the horses was reshod.
Are you sure of that?
Yes, Miss Winslow's.
But your horse wasn't?
No, only Betty's.
Is it not in order that we visit Miss Winslow, then?
Oh, I think we should.
I've already told her we might pay her a call.
Well, let's get started.
Right. Betty.
Hello, Greg, Your Highness.
I suppose you know why we're here, Betty.
Well, I imagine it has to do with the horse the prince gave me.
Particularly about the fact that you have the horse reshod. Do you know where it was done?
One of the stable hands took care of it for me.
Did he tell you where he'd had it done?
No, he didn't.
Well, can't you ask him?
He's away for a few days.
Then it behooves us to wait. It is so destined. There's nothing we can do until the man returns.
Meanwhile, those of us who own Aravanian horses must remain under the threat of danger.
And each must look to his own safety.
That's right. A few days more or less won't matter.
Well, I suppose there's nothing to do except wait.
I just made a pot of coffee. Wouldn't you like to come in and have some?
No, thanks, Betty. I think we'd better run along.
I trust you won't think us rude.
Well, you can't all be playboys like Greg.
Well, it has its advantages.
Goodbye, Betty.
Say, I could go for a cup of java.
Well, stick around then.
You bet I will.
Not yet.
Well, someone should know where those 2 horses were reshod.
That's right. The 2 horses. This is the second time things have gone wrong.
You mean the Miller angle?
Yes. Those 20 tears of blood that he was supposed to have are still missing.
Now 40 more.
It's not a very good percentage, 60 out of 100.
There's no one can be blamed.
I'm not so sure of that.
Nobody
except the men who took the horses knew that both had been stolen. Yet Pierce knew it. He asked if both horses had been reshod.
Go on.
That gives me an idea of how we can trap him, provided he's guilty. We'll tell him we've learned where your horse was reshod. If he's implicated, he'll send men there and we'll be waiting for them.
That might work.
Well, it can't do any harm. So we have a date for dinner tonight at Pierce's Cafe.
It's a deal.
X3 reporting.
Who's with you?
X4.
Both of you report to me at once.
Yes, sir.
X3, X4. I have a special job for you two.
Very well, sir. What is it?
Starting now, you are to cover X2 at all times.
Just what are we to watch for?
Report to me on everything he does. That is all.
What's this all about?
White Eravanian horses?
I'm indebted to you, Mr. Silver, for this unexpected invitation to dinner.
I felt we had something in common, Prince Hamil, and should talk it over.
Oh, you intrigue me. I'm impatient to know on what common ground we meet.
Oh, it doesn't work that fast, Your Highness. First, we must have an understanding.
Speak what is in your mind.
Shall I say, tears of blood?
Words are simple to speak. What have you besides words?
For a price, the tears of blood could be delivered.
How many tears and for what price?
40 tears of blood as a start. 60 more to follow.
You fail to mention the price.
For each group of 20 tears of blood, $100,000.
Surely you're not serious.
You want them very badly. I think you'll pay.
Send X2 here at once.
You're mistaken, Mr. Silver. I do not want the tears of blood that badly.
I believe you do.
I beg your pardon, Mr. Silver. There's something that requires your immediate attention.
Well, thank you, Henri. I'll be right along. Please pardon me a moment, Your Highness.
Do you wish to see me, X1?
It's no use, Silver. You're finished. You're all through.
Good evening, Prince Hamil.
Good evening, Mr. Pierce.
Mr. Silver has been unavoidably detained. He sends his apologies.
Well, I regret that I cannot express my appreciation to him for this excellent dinner.
Glad you enjoyed it.
Oh, here are our friends Miss Winslow and Mr. Saunders.
Good evening, Your Highness.
Good evening.
George?
Hamil, George. Hello, folks. I have some important news for you gentlemen.
I hope it's the information we're seeking.
Yes, I contacted Joe, the stable boy. And the blacksmith shop in question is Garrity's in the valley.
If we're going to get ahead of our mysterious enemy, we'd better get going.
I've already been there, and the shop is closed.
Well, we can find Garrity and have him open the place.
Well, I suggest that we wait until morning. I'll contact him then.
Just as you say, Greg.
Fine.
You bet. And I'll fetch these rifles from the shooting gallery just like Greg told me to.
I hope they shoot straighter than most of yours.
I don't. Listen, you young upstart. I want you to know that I got the best.
Take your hands off those guns. Stand up. We want to know who sent you here.
Santa Claus. You just keep them covered, stuff. I know how to make them talk.
Don't move.
A little heat'll fall out.
Now we're going to find out what you're looking for.
My pal said I ought to have a lucky horseshoe.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
All right, wise guys. But you'll talk plenty before Pop gets through with you.
That's not the way we heard it. We got you covered. Drop your gun. Drop those guns.
Has Pierce at last come out into the open in his battle against society? And what is this situation that Betty has so unfortunately encountered? You can't afford to miss. Death rides the rails. Chapter 12 of The Vigilante at this theater next week. Whether Pierce is behind the plot to steal the white horses, Greg Saunders arranges a trap at a blacksmith shop where the shoes of Betty's horse were reportedly removed. The trap is sprung as two of X1's men appear at the shop, where Stuff and Pop are waiting and...
Take your hands off those guns. Stand up. We want to know who sent you here.
Santa Claus. You just keep them covered, stuff. I know how to make them talk.
Don't move.
A little heat'll fall out.
Now we're going to find out what you're looking for.
My pal said I ought to have a lucky horseshoe.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
All right, wise guys. But you'll talk plenty before Pop gets through with you.
That's not the way we heard it. We got you covered. Drop your gun. Drop those guns. Reilly at the sheriff's substation.
Don't worry about Pop. I'll take care of him. Neither you nor your two buddies back there know who you're risking your necks for.
We aren't risking our necks.
You seem to have forgotten the little matter of a murder charge.
At least you do know what the man you are working for is after. What does he want with those 5 Aravanian horses Prince Hamil presented to his friends?
He never mentioned it.
Then you have talked with him.
Mister, nobody talks to him.
I think I know one man, Captain, who does talk to their boss. We'll get it out of him.
You better guess again. Before you can get a hold of him, he won't be able to talk to anybody. I see what you mean. Thanks for the tip. Monroe, lock him up. Right. You were referring to that fellow Silver who manages Pierce's Cafe, weren't you?
Yes, he runs the strong-arm squad for the higher-up.
We'd better get to him before something happens.
I've got an angle on that.
I'd like to hear it. All right, let's have it, Greg.
Well, it's only a guess, but the more I think about it, the more it makes sense. When I told you about those trick horseshoes being at the blacksmith shop, I knew, of course, it wasn't true.
Keep talking.
Let me ask you, who else was present when I mentioned the blacksmith shop?
Why, George Pierce. He wanted to go right out with us to investigate. Now, wait a minute, Greg. You're not going to tell me that you suspect Pierce.
That's exactly what I'm trying to convey. He's the higher-up we've been looking for.
But he offered to go along.
Sure, so he'd know it in case we did find anything.
Could be.
Pierce was the only one that knew that I was going to the blacksmith shop in the morning for those horseshoes. So what does he do? He sends those men tonight for those shoes.
That makes sense.
Besides, Pierce's white horse is the only one the prince presented that hasn't been stolen.
There's one way to find out. We can pick up Pierce for questioning.
And get nothing out of him? No, he's too clever to give himself away. But I have an idea of how we can prove whether or not we're on the right track.
Let's have it.
I gather from what that man Sadlow let slip that Silver's in bad with the boss, and something's likely to happen to him before morning.
Yes, I got that too.
Besides, the chances are the boss is waiting for a report from those men who got away from us tonight.
Right again.
If Pierce is our man, one of two things should be true. Either Pierce will not be home, or those men will be hanging around the cafe to make their report.
Then let's go and see if he's home. We'll take my cars right outside.
And so then that vigilante guy gets the drop on Merck, and the only thing the rest of us could do was to get out of there.
Have you reported this to X1 yet?
No, we're afraid to. Lefty and I don't know what X1 might do after us gumming up another job like this. We sort of hope that you might talk to him. You know, he has a lot of respect for you.
Well, I'll be glad to help you, Don.
Well, thanks a lot. Lefty's waiting right outside.
Wait a minute, I'll be right with you.
Fine.
Way to find out if Pierce is home is ring the doorbell.
Let's take a look around first.
Something wrong, Lefty?
Plenty. The sheriff's car just sneaked in the back road without lights. Greg Saunders and that Captain Reilly are prowling around.
Been waiting for a chance to take care of Saunders. You boys wait here. of sight.
Stop your shooting! It's Captain Reilly and Greg Saunders.
Well, come out in the open where I can see you. Hey, you fellas came very near being killed.
You're a fair shot, all right. Those bullets were pretty close.
I'm terribly sorry, Greg, but I saw a car drive up without lights, then two men prowling around. Of course, I didn't know it was you. What's it all about?
We had a tip there might be trouble here tonight.
Trouble? What kind of trouble?
An attempt to steal that white Arabian horse of yours.
Maybe we better take a look in the stable.
There's no need, Greg. The horse is perfectly safe. I was down in the stables myself a few minutes ago.
Then we must have been taken in by a false alarm. We'll be going. I think you better stay on the alert for a while, Mr. Pierce.
Don't worry, Captain. I will. Good night. Good night.
Saunders?
No. That'll be another time.
Is it all right to go to the cafe now?
Yeah, but I've decided to take my own car. You can follow. I think you two might get a better break if I talk to X1 first. Alone.
Well, we found out one thing. Pierce is home.
We sure did. I can still hear the hum of those bullets.
This puts him in the clear as far as I'm concerned.
I'm afraid I can't agree with you, Captain. I still think he's the man we're looking for.
Well, maybe so.
Drop me off at Pierce's Cafe. I have a date with Betty Winslow there.
What, again? You've taken quite a shine to that little rodeo queen.
Calling Sheriff's Car 14, Car 14. Go to intersection of National and Highway 66. Traffic accident and major fight.
I'll have to take that in, Greg.
Let me off near a telephone. I'll have stuff pick me up.
Okay.
Saying, boss. By the time we got to the blacksmith shop, the vigilante was waiting there.
Yeah, he jumped us before we had a chance to do any searching.
I might have guessed those horseshoes weren't hidden there.
Mr. Pierce got a bad tip from that fellow Saunders and passed it on to you, that's all.
All right, so much for the horseshoes. What's more important is that I'm short 20 of those red pearls.
You're short 20 tears of blood?
That's right.
Say, you don't think we're holding out on you?
No, I don't. I know who's been holding out on me, and I'm going to pin him down right now. Unlock that door and bring in X2.
Come out of there, X2.
Silver, you know me well enough to realize I don't stand for any disloyalty or dishonesty. I want the 20 pearls you held out on me, and I want them now.
I wouldn't try to hold out on you, X1. I'm not that big a fool.
I think you are. Search him.
Here they are.
Place them on the table.
I can explain. I didn't intend to keep them.
Silence. I'm doing all the talking from here on, Silver. Unfortunately, though, you won't be able to hear what I'm saying.
Give me a chance. I'll make it up to you, if you'll only give me a break.
Show him what the town looks like at night, boys, and make sure he won't be able to tell anyone what he saw.
please help me.
You happened along at the wrong time. We'll have to take you with us.
Look, I don't know what all this is about, but you're not taking me anywhere.
Well, you guess again, sister. Hey, Greg. That looks like Betty those men are throwing in that car. That is. Get that pace started as quick as you can. Look to me like the same ones we had to fight with in the blacksmith shop, Greg.
Possibly they are. You would be stuck with your antiquated wreck at a time like this.
And you would pick a time like this to have your car laid up for a paint job.
Step on it, Lefty. There's a car following us.
Can't you make this crate go faster?
Wide open.
Crossing up ahead. If I can beat that train to it, that'll stop whoever's following us.
You think we can make it?
We've got to.
Brother, I hope they have to stop at that railroad crossing.
If they don't, we'll never catch them.
Is Betty Winslow to meet the same fate as that intended for Silver? And what new complication is this at the carnival grounds? See the amazing answers in The Trap That Failed, Chapter 13 of The Vigilante, at this theater next week.
Hello again, this is Don O'Malley with Don's Breakfast Cereal Show. That was the end of part 2 of 3 of The Vigilante starring Ralph Boyd. So tune in next week and we'll have the last few chapters and a couple of shorts with it. So thanks again. And if you can, go to YouTube under Donald O'Malley and hit subscribe and like button. Thank you again for tuning in. Good night, folks. Stay safe.